Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, they're letting me talk to start things off, which means run now because it's going to be something crazy and stupid happening. But for those of you who are crazy enough to continue and to stay, we thank you for that. And welcome to Bay City Chronicles presents NextGen. We don't have the full complement of people tonight. We've got a couple off with life, family things, and illnesses being dealt with. So we've got 3/5 of the crew here. Whether or not they're the good 3/5 or the bad 3/5, I'll let you figure that out.
Did you just learn the math today?
That was the joke! So at least one of these three is on the good side. I'll let you figure out which one it is. Speaking of that, we've got OPT Lawyer, Crimson Avix, and Chameleon Ice. I am your host, TGE, and we are going to be getting back into NextGen tonight with issue 19, Catching a Dream. So last time, Gianna went on the news and did an interview. And unfortunately for Gianna, it did not go very well. Because that's what happens when a 13-year-old gets interviewed by a seasoned anchorman with an agenda. The interview led to almost immediate anti-meta protests right outside the news station. Very much immediate. Too immediate. So our pompous friend, Vincent Evan Donovan IV, decided to give people a taste of their own medicine. He got a little, mouthy with the protesters, but hive mind protesters, we all know how that works. Flo, meanwhile, decided he was going to have a little fun at the protesters' expense and got basically he Pied Pipered a group of kids into basically protesting the fact that video games nowadays suck. It was quite entertaining, as a matter of fact. After the interview, and after some choice words that Charlie had for the wonderful Preston Powell, they got kind of trapped in there, and Gianna teleported herself and Charlie and her dad to the parking garage across the street, where it was revealed to Gianna, at least, that her dad knew she had these powers the whole time. Which, in the shock of all shocks, was a shock to Gianna and to nobody else.
I hit it so well.
Yes. Of course, the interview itself was spurred on because of public murmurings and outcry about the disappearance of one Chase Cassidy, who is still missing, and video surfaced of the crew here being the last ones to have been seen with him at an arcade. And seeing as the only one of the crew who's currently still around-ish are Charlie and Gianna, you are the two who got over there, and Gianna, being the one who'd been around for pretty much all the crazy shenanigans that have happened, got the interview. Because Drake is still doing whatever Drake's doing in the Land of the Dragons, and Hunter's just a kid.
And Alex doesn't exist.
Yeah, and Alex doesn't exist.
Alex wasn't in...
Alex wasn't in the arcade either.
No, Alex wasn't in the arcade. Right, Alex has been missing since long before that. But anyway, with that, this is, as I said, Bay City Chronicles presents NextGen, issue 19, Catching a Dream. On the cover, you see little bits and pieces of different scenes throughout the series of comics so far. And they're all outlined in little sections of what appears to be a dream catcher. Now, for those of you who don't know, it's a little, like the woven thing you would hang in a bedroom to catch nightmares or whatever, and each of the little sections that is weaved up, that was a picture from some part of the adventures. The one thing that everyone will notice about all of these different pictures is that in every picture, Gianna is in every picture. Like, Everybody else is scattered throughout all the pictures. Gianna is in every one of them.
Aw.
So we're going to turn the page, and we're going to basically pick up right where we left off. In the parking garage. So, Gianna and Charlie, Mr. Rose just said, basically just said, yes, I know you've had these. We'll talk about this later. What do you guys do?
How did you find out?
I've known forever.
Like, forever, or like when I say forever?
I suspected, and then it was pretty obvious.
Mr. Robertson, what would make you suspect?
That is not a conversation that this is the appropriate place to discuss.
Well, what do we do now, then? We should probably go home? Oh, what if they know where we live?
Well, there is... In theory, they shouldn't be able to follow us, considering they're all focused on the news station right now, and I believe, if I'm correct, you should be able to shroud us from their view, if I'm assuming correctly.
I don't really know. I've never really tried to do that.
Well, considering things, shouldn't be too far out of the realm of your possibility.
You really think I can do it, Daddy?
If there's one thing that I've learned, or one thing that I should suspect, I should rather say, is that when anyone with the last name of Robinson puts their mind to something, they can basically make it. The difference just becomes what you do after. Do you try to make the world a better place, or do you... Well, let me rephrase that. Not do you try to make the world a better place, but how do you go about doing it? Do you do it in the light, or in the shadows?
Okay.
During this conversation, Charlie is watching Mr. Robertson, and he looks slightly pissed.
Why does he look slightly pissed?
Is that him asking?
That's me asking. That's the GM asking.
Oh, you'll find out. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'd pierce the mask if Gianna wasn't so focused on her dad right now.
Right, yeah. No, it's fine. No, he looks absolutely pissed off right now.
Yeah, she was one of those like really confident nods. Like I'm gonna do things on the light.
Alrighty. So, are you going to attempt to do what he asked you to do?
Oh, we probably need to get in the car first.
Well, yes. He holds open the doors.
Yes. Yeah, she's gonna try it. So,
Okay. So, go ahead and roll to unleash your powers.
oakley dokley. Let's just do this normally. No bonus, I'm guessing, for this. So...
Okay. So, when I hate you, do it. So, you get into the car, and please describe what happens and how you shroud the car from the angry mob, as it will.
Well... this will work. Playing this for a little while. Gianna actually, when they get in the car, she starts kind of focusing out. And when they hop into the car, these little figures appear around the outside of the car. Like maybe about 4 of them. And they look like little snowmen. And they start swirling around the car at a very rapid speed, kind of creating a bit of a misty, kind of icy fog. And then when they're all done, they stand there very proud, and the car appears to be just like a waft of fog.
A waft of fog.
Yes.
Fair enough. So that of course is what it appears to the outside world. You in the car, it's perfectly normal. It's like riding in a car. So you sit there, you drive out, and Flo. What happened after you got bored with your protest mob of Fortnite players?
I basically left. Didn't really have any intention, just didn't want to be there anymore.
Okay, is there any place in particular you were going?
Back into the TV studio.
Okay, so you make your way into the TV studio. Not that hard to weave your way in and out, considering, well, you can just portal in there if you need to. What are you looking for inside the TV studio?
A certain anchorman.
A certain anchorman. Okay. Not that hard to find where his office is located, considering it's, kind of says, offices on all the floor type of deal. You may have to get a little creative to get to where you need to go, but right now it looks like most people are pretty much concerned with what's going on outside.
Oh, I make my way to his room.
Okay. You encounter nobody on your way there. They're all focused on the mob. There's like a 5% chance of something happening.
Pity.
What you do find interesting, though, is what can we phrase that? What do you do when you get to the office? Unless there's something extremely unmatter, the building's on fire. I'm busy. Please go away.
But I'm your biggest fan, and I would do anything for an autograph.
Good, then go away, and I'll mail you one.
But it's not the same, because I want you to autograph my chest.
I'm sorry. You... What?
Just come here, get it over with. Come on. I want you to autograph my chest so I can go get it turned into a tattoo.
Roll to provoke and take a +1.
Yes, please do this.
So you can mark potential. So you just hear this. Look, I appreciate the enthusiasm. I do. But I'm not going to autograph anybody's chest. I'm not one of those drugged out rock stars. I'm a news anchor. So, and you can hear him starting to walk towards the door.
Flo just sits there and waits.
So, with all due respect, you need to leave now. He goes, and I know you can't hear them, but currently my hand is on the security buzzer. I'm going to give you 10 seconds before I push it.
Can you at least count out loud?
How did you even get up here?
Well, I mean, everyone's kind of distracted by what's going on outside. Something that you may have had some influence in.
Oh. And what makes you think that?
Just an inkling. Your media, come on. I mean, media always is at the forefront of all these issues.
Yes, well, let me ask you a question.
Can I ask you one first?
You just did.
When are you going to start counting?
Look. He hits the button, and the door opens.
No one's standing there.
That is a cute trick.
He feels a tap on his shoulder.
He shuts the door, turns around.
And immediately Flo's fist is coming right at his face.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can't have you roll to directly engage a threat because he really isn't. So you just punch him square in the face, and he's just like he just sort of looks like he does the whole hand thing and just looks up, and just blood pouring out of his nose. And he looks. All right, you insolent.
I'm sorry. Did I do that? Here's a rag to wipe it with.
Who? And at this point, he drops the pretentious accent. Who exactly do you think you are? And more importantly, do you understand who you're messing with?
Yeah, apparently you don't know who you're messing with, though.
I'm going to say this once. It is in your best interest to never show your face again. Because I can promise you this. If I want people to disappear, they will.
Oh. I can do that, too.
So, and he wipes more blood away. Why exactly are you?
Because you decided that it would be advantageous, funny, whatever your methodology and purpose was for doing it, to manipulate a 13-year-old girl.
I did no such thing.
So why'd you take the interview?
I'm simply attempting to find the location of a colleague.
Okay, so you can do that without broadcasting the whole thing.
I could, but the public deserves to know. Or were you not informed of what's really going on behind the scenes with Miss Robinson?
I don't really think that's any of my concern. I don't think it was your concern either.
Oh, on the contrary, it is my concern because it would be an absolute shame if she were to fall the same way her mother did.
At this point, a portal opens up on the floor behind him. What about a shame about someone falling?
That's a cute parlor trick.
It ain't a trick. You're going to fall for a long time if you fall through that.
So, as I was saying, it would be an absolute shame if she were to fall the same way her mother did. However, as a member of the media, it is my job to deliver fact to the public.
No, it is your job to take words, turn them into your own fact to get the public to bite on news stories.
My dear child, at this point in the city, I could tell people that water is dry and they would believe me.
Well, good. There seems to be a great pool of dry water down at the bottom of this hole, so we'll see how much of a splash it makes.
Look, I don't expect someone like you to understand the complex process that is involved in not only delivering the news, but delivering the news to them in such a manner so that it's believable and objective.
I would totally believe that if it was believable or objective.
So then let me ask you that.
You're delivering the news to manipulate.
I cannot be held responsible for the actions of an angry crew. And before you accuse me of manipulating people, I suggest you look into the history of your friend. Might I suggest you start by seeing what you can find about some dream catchers, shall we?
I suggest you look into the history of more than just my friend, because I know more about your history than you do. So it doesn't make sense.
I see. I see exactly what we're dealing with here. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not joking when I say look into Miss Robinson.
I'm not joking when I say you better retract your statements, otherwise you're going to be the one that goes missing.
You can certainly threaten, but I can assure you of this, child. You're involving yourself in something that is way beyond your scope. If you think that an idle threat here is simply idle, you are completely wrong.
At this point, Flo breaks the fourth wall, looks at the comic panel, and says, "You don't know me very well, do we?"
So he looks back and then he goes, look. If you think that it's just me you would have to work, I am simply the tip of the ice. But I can assure you that if I were to go missing, the hell that would rain down on this city from on high would be nothing that anyone in this city would be able to fathom or handle.
Why would hell rain down on the city? No one in the city would be responsible.
You don't seem to understand something well.
Tell me, what is your purpose for manipulating the masses to storm into riots like they are about those with abilities? Why turn the masses against us? What is your end game?
My end game, as you put it, child, is none of your concern. I've entertained you. So now, if you'll excuse me, you need to get out of my office.
And at this point, Flo takes the portal, swings it around to where his desk was, and drops his desk through the portal. Enjoy your office.
At this point, from out of his shadow comes a giant tendril of what appears to be pure shadow energy. Grabs at your foot, drags you into your own shadow, and spits you out on the street in an alleyway. And we're going to turn the page. By this point, the car of Gianna and Charlie and Mr. Robinson have arrived back at the Robinson house, where clearly Charlie is playing with the chupacabra.
Yeah. So Charlie's been quiet the entire ride, and he just looks like he's stewing in like thoughts and whatnot.
I think at this point, Gianna probably would have calmed down enough that she would probably pierce the mask on Charlie because he looks surprisingly upset for what she thinks is kind of interesting.
Well,
Dad finally knows! Ooh!
ooh. I'm going to bake that hard move.
Enjoy.
Well, go ahead and mark attention.
She's clearly too distracted.
Clearly.
Charlie?
He looks over towards you, but he doesn't like. He looks over at you, so he knows he's listening to you, but he didn't say anything.
What's wrong?
Kind of silently sits there for a little bit. Just kind of like shakes his head and kind of waves his hands like, not now.
Dad, can we, I guess, can we talk now about all of this?
We can.
Yes. Let's talk about that, shall we?
But before we do, I'm just going to not bury the lead here, and just, he looks right over at Charlie. What is your problem?
Are they inside the house, by the way, or are they still like in the car?
No, they're in the house at this point.
Okay, that's good. So Charlie looks at Mr. Robinson, and he sits there and he kind of like clenches his fists for a moment, and he's clearly trying to keep himself calm, and he then looks up at him and says, You knew she had these powers. You gave her no guidance, no warning, and you let her go out into the world and put herself in danger using them.
First of all, I did know she had the power. Second of all, she did have guidance. It wasn't for me, but she did have guidance. Isn't that right, Gianna?
I mean, if you're talking about, like, my friends,
I'm talking about your uncle.
Uncle Jerry?
Yeah.
But I just punched him in the face with Sassy. That wasn't no guidance.
Did he not consistently help you learn how to control them?
I guess a little. Yeah.
More than just a little. So there was guidance.
I guess so.
Charlie just does not look impressed by that.
And one other question, if you don't mind. Mr. Alexander, you said?
Yes.
Do you know what I do for work?
Does he know what he does for a living? I don't think so. No!
Gianna, darling, have you even ever asked what I do?
Yeah, you work.
Okay. I work. And I'm going to quickly go out of GM mode for a second. Cham,
Yes.
if this is not acceptable, go ahead and yell at me for it. But I think this will fit in nicely.
There are only a few things that are unacceptable, so go for it.
Yeah. I'm an engineer at a location that you've been to a lot. In fact, the guidance you speak of, Mr. Alexander, was also provided by my boss.
Who's your boss?
A Dr. Thomas Casey.
Stormbreaker Technologies.
Oh, Hunter! No wonder you weren't very upset about him.
Yes. I have known young Mr. Barlow for a while. How do you think I've been informed of it?
I guess I never really questioned it.
I knew that you didn't want me to know, so I pretended like I didn't. But if you think that with everything that's happened in the past, I was going to let my little girl go out using these powers without some sort of eyes on her, you're sadly mistaken.
So you relied on the eyes of another 13-year-old? I forget how old Hunter is. Another 13-year-old?
We're in the same grade.
No. Mr. Barlow was simply a friendly face that both of us could, at least Gianna could feel comfortable about. No. My guidance was Dr. Casey, Mr. Martin, the rest of the older heroes in that NextGen group.
But they're all gone now. Do you know where they are, Dad?
As far as I understand, they've been working on something. I don't know what. I'm not privy to that. But you and your team, Gianna, were brought into the fold as a favor to me.
She actually looks very sad as he says, like, her and her team.
So there could at least be some supervision.
So, when you got kidnapped by stage fright, did you really get kidnapped, or was that on purpose, Daddy?
No, that actually happened.
Oh, okay.
That part was not staged.
Okay.
Pardon the pun.
So I really did save you. Oh, good.
Yes, and your dragon-scaled friend really needs to work at this landing.
Yeah, he's not so good around any kind of standing water.
So I've heard and seen several times.
Yeah.
He looks back at Charlie. Does that quell your concerns, Mr. Alexander?
Charlie looks away. Kind of just shakes his head. It's like, you're her father.
Yes, I am. And I did everything I could to ensure she was taken care of and safe, while also allowing her to spread her wings and learn on her own.
Learn on her own. It's too dangerous for... Maybe I was right.
About what?
Maybe kids really shouldn't be out there fighting like this.
Look, I don't know what your background is. I really don't. But clearly, whatever it is has hurt you deep. You don't trust people.
No.
And I'm not telling you what you can and can't do, what you need to do, what you don't need to do. But what I'm going to say is, if you're going to be working as a team, which clearly you are, you need to learn to have a little bit of faith, have a little bit of trust in people, and not think that your way is the only way. And he's attempting to shift your labels. He's shifting your mundane up and your superior down.
What's mundane up, superior down. Mechanically, I would love this, but he's not really in a position to really listen to anybody right now. So, I'm going to go ahead and reject that, as I was stalling so I could get Tina off of my mouse.
Of course the cat was on the mouse.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to reject. Charlie's going to reject that.
Okay.
Or not.
No, he's not.
Which is good, just fine with me, but yeah.
Right.
Okay, so. Alrighty. On a miss, their words hit you hard. Mark a condition, and the GM will adjust your labels accordingly.
Okay, so angry is easy.
Yep, and we are going to go ahead with the aforementioned label shift of superior down and mundane up. So after he's done basically reading Charlie the Riot Act, he maintains his calm demeanor and looks over at Gianna. Before we get into this discussion, is there anybody else on your team you want to invite over? I feel like the information is relevant.
Goodness. I have to admit, I never really stopped to think of us as a team. Well,
And what would you consider yourselves?
friends.
One step in one direction, one step in the other.
Well, I want Drake to be here. He needs to know about this. But he's a little hard to reach right now. And there's a really nice guy we met named Vincent. And Angelo. If we can contact them, I think it'd be really important.
See who you can get a hold of. Right?
I don't really have Angelo's number, though. Or Vincent's, for that matter.
Charlie does.
Charlie!
Charlie slowly pulls out his phone, looks at it, and starts tapping things before he just simply hands it to Gianna. It's like, it's on there.
Oh, thank you! And she, approaches like a wizard, just kind of like...
Right, yeah.
So she texts out to, Vincent and Angelos. It even sends a text to Drake just because. And so, clearly only one person's getting this.
Well, no. You get a response back almost immediately from Drake's number. It just says, honk.
Yeah, Drake's busy.
Angelos.
Message she sends out is just like, meet at my dad's. Something big has happened.
So the panel you get of Angelo receiving that text is him sitting on a writhy-looking chair with his feet kicked up on a desk that's sort of broken in half in the middle.
How does he respond to the text?
He looks at his watch, texts back, kind of busy at the moment. Give me a little bit.
Gianna just texts back, okay, with a smiley face. And then she looks over at Charlie and says, okay, Angelo says he's on his way.
Oh, that's good.
And then Angelo goes rummaging through the drawers.
Okay. What is he looking for? Or just looking?
He's looking for anything.
Well, here's the anything you're going to find is actually the absence of anything. So this is apparently supposed to be, the desk of an editor / high-ranking news anchor. So you'd expect there to be stories or accolades or notebooks or anything. There's nothing. Every drawer is empty.
Well, that was a waste of a good desk.
And since it's Angelos, you would know. Because the desk's kind of broken anyway. So if there were any secret compartments, they'd be easily accessible. There are. This comes standard with secret compartments. Those are even empty. Well, mostly empty. The secret compartment at the top. Give me odds or evens real quick.
Odds.
Evens. Unfortunately, the bottle of whiskey in the top drawer has shattered.
Aww.
Yeah, that's okay. It wasn't rum anyway.
Yes, that was all that was in this desk, was literally just the whiskey.
No snacks or anything? My gosh, what a monster.
So at that, Angelo texts back, oh yeah, I kind of need to know where I'm going.
Alright, so Gianna texts back her address. And then she remembers to add at the end, oh, this is Gianna, by the way.
Because it's been coming through on Charlie's phone number.
Yes.
Yes.
Where's Charlie?
He's right here with us.
He texts back. In spirit? Question mark.
No. In actuality? In body?
In a short, in a button down.
Yes. In a tie?
So at this point, Angela or Flo just starts sort of walking.
So if there is nothing else that needs to happen beforehand, we will turn the page at the speed of plot and arrive in the living room of Casa de Robinson.
Charlie's just been pacing a bit.
Oh, speed of plot? Okay, well, in that case, Angela just creates a portal and pops down on the couch.
I would say, unless there's anything you want to do walking there. See, turn around, just poof.
That's Angelo.
Pleasure to meet you.
I take it your pops.
Yes. If that's what you desire to call me, that's fine.
By the way, GG, a bloody nose and not many answers.
I'm sorry?
Oh, the newscaster. I punched him for you.
Angelo, you didn't need to do that!
We just get a comic panel that's just a close-up of Mr. Robinson's face, and it's got the biggest smile, and there's the thought bubble that just says, I like this one.
So when Gianna covers her mouth like she did, like Chammy illustrated, yeah, that's kind of what he looked like when I did it.
Charlie looks at him and says, please tell me you got him square in the nose.
Yeah, square in the nose. I might have busted up his upper lip too.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Good.
I threatened to kick him through a portal.
Why didn't you?
But then I just dropped his desk through instead.
His desk? Oh, is there anything in his desk?
A broken bottle of whiskey now.
That's both disappointing and disappointing.
Yeah, I figured the desk wouldn't mess with the future too much, but killing him probably would have screwed a thing or two up.
You were going to kill him?
He's media.
I don't think that makes it right, Angelo.
Well, tell me, Gigi. Was everything he said about you true?
Well, no.
So why would you want him to continue to be alive to spread more false narratives about you and others?
Because I don't like killing people.
Okay.
And if he also dies, then he doesn't really get a chance to fix what he said.
Okay, so then I kick him through the portal, close the portal so his feet get caught, and then he's just dangling in midair.
I guess that's kind of better. But
At this point, Mr. Robinson interrupts. He goes, I'm not going to condone the killing. I am going to condone, however, I like the ideas this young man is coming up with. You can stay. He looks at Charlie. I'm still warming up to you.
Oh, please, don't.
Charlie, don't be mean.
Just steps over it at Gianna for a moment and then looks back towards Mr. Robinson. Says, maybe I should explain who I actually am before we go any further.
He looks. That seems to be what's going to be happening a lot in this. So.
Yes. My last name is not actually Alexander, it's my middle name.
Yes, your last name is Cassidy.
Does everybody just know this? Should I just wear a name tag? Is that it?
See, I get confused when people realize it too.
Hi, I'm Chase from 1996.
Well, to be fair, it was in the news.
I was not...
They
What?
did that facial recognition thing, remember?
Well, that's just the guy, not... They couldn't figure out who I was, if I remember right. Whatever.
And for the record, it's not that I knew, it's I kind of figured it out.
Okay. How?
The way you were reacting to things was very similar to how I've seen Chase react to things in the past.
He looks hurt by that, and more pissed off.
Ooh.
I am not him.
You are him. You're striving not to be him.
Okay, yes, I'm not going to be... Yes, fine, but... He just kind of waves his hand off, just like walks. Just like paces a bit.
It's interesting because the more you know about what he becomes, the more you know what to avoid, but the closer down the path you ever so slightly. It's a delicate balance.
How do you know all this stuff, Dad?
I've been working closely with Thomas Casey for 10 plus years. Do you really think that NextGen is his first foray into a heroic team? Why do you think it's called NextGen?
Because it's the next generation of... Oh, right, of course.
There was a previous generation.
That makes sense.
You think what you're caught up in is messed up.
He just looks... I don't know if I want to know.
Well, he probably wouldn't tell us anyway. We didn't want to screw up the timeline or anything.
That's actually something that's kind of interesting. I think I'm the only person, aside from Dad in this room, that's actually from the year that we're in.
Yes, that is actually true.
Well, that's a statistic I never felt to be a part of.
I mean, I'm from the year that you're in. I'm just not the same age as I am right now in the future.
I guess I thought you were further from the future than that one.
About 15 years, maybe.
Oh, okay.
15-ish.
So the whole world goes to heck in all of 15 years.
I probably don't have any comprehension of any of this.
Right.
Fair enough. Anyway, if you would like to know about that first generation, how you lived. But he looks at Charlie. You're probably not going.
Oh, let me guess. They had a hero by the idiotic name of Reverb.
Which was the name that your future self went by, yes.
Yes. I don't know what I went through to cause myself to pick a name like that, but I can tell you right now, I must have been really drunk when it happened.
No.
Well, I can go back and get that whiskey and we can see what happens when you're really drunk.
I can assure you, you were not really drunk.
That's unfortunate.
You lost a bet.
Okay, that actually does explain that much better then. Thank God.
Was he drunk when he made the bet?
No.
Wait, you knew Chase Cassidy when he was a superhero, Dad?
Yes.
Were you a superhero?
No.
Aw.
He did
But-
say he was an engineer. My guess is that you helped in creating things for said super team.
Actually, no.
Oh.
I ended up getting introduced to them. And because I was dating them.
Oh. I see where this is going.
Do you mean?
I mean, at one point, yes. And then other things happened.
Like what?
So, we don't need to get into the specifics of what the original team Thomas Casey was involved in was. Suffice to say, it involved him, Chase Cassidy, and your mother. One of the things that happened in this city a long time ago was down in the Bash, which you guys all know the Bash is the slums part of town.
Okay. I know that now.
It was a bad time to be there. And no matter how hard that they fought, it kept getting worse and worse until some massive intergang war started. Left the Bash, while structurally sound, emotionally. It was at that point that your mother lost her drive to be. It was also at that point that the real scary part of her ability came to surface.
Scary.
You asked me how I knew that you could fog and glamour. That was something your mother could do easily. She could make constructs and pull illusions seemingly out of thin air. Then she realized she could manipulate the fears of people's. Once everything happened in the Bash, she realized that doing things in the light wasn't working anymore. So she started to work in the shadows, manipulating people in power, holding whatever over them. You'll notice that there is no more gang war in the Bash. It's still low income,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, it's the safest place in the city. And while your mother is responsible for that, the way she did it was less than ideal. At that time, the only thing keeping her from going truly off the rails was me. And then you happened, and we came to a decision that if it was ever found out that Dreamweaver, which is what she was calling herself now, was your mother, you would get the full rash and wrath of everyone who had been harmed by her. So we made the difficult decision to.
She left.
She did.
Why are you telling me all of this now?
Because you asked how I knew you had abilities.
Right, but you didn't even tell me Mom was alive.
That was part of the decision that we made. That way, if anyone confronted you about her, you would be under the impression that she was dead, and they couldn't pressure you into anything you wouldn't know anything about. You couldn't even fake knowing about it because you wouldn't.
I guess that makes sense. Dad, where's Mom now?
I don't know for sure, but when things started getting really bad, she ended up using her magic to create a pocket dimension. And she would spend a lot of time there, saying it held the catalyst for her more overt displays of power.
Wow. She went to her own pocket dimension?
At this point, when that gets mentioned, a certain somebody starts freaking out.
Jimmy! Jimmy, calm down! Sorry.
And he's aggressively pointing at your father, and then pointing there, and then pointing to him. So he keeps pointing to your father, and then to himself.
Wait a second.
Is this Chibicabra your mother's?
No. He came from the dreaming.
Right. Okay, good.
Right now, you just see a thought bubble above Flo's head saying, "Reader, please turn the page so that thing shuts up."
Okay. Well, at this point, he looks at the Chibicabra like, I'm sorry, at this point, anything's possible.
He looks at you in this most disgustingly cute face that he possibly can.
Have I ever told you you're adorable?
He knows.
Good.
But no, Chibi, we found him in the dreaming, when Alex was around. We went in there, because I was having these really awful nightmares. And we ran across, a really big evil crow, and a cauldron, which, of course, Drake fell into. And it created all sorts of weirdness and everything, but when we got out of there, Chibi was with me. Because I thought he was kind of a part of me.
At this point, after giving the pose down to Charlie, he has not decided to curl up on Gianna like he usually does, or Mr. Robinson. He has gone and made himself at home on the shoulder of Flo.
And Flo is sitting there very, very stiffly, moving its head as far away from his shoulder as possible.
If you keep giving more room, he's going to just curl up onto the neck even more and more.
Charlie looks at Flo and he's just like, you might as well just accept it, man. He's right there. He's there until he's done.
I mean, I could make him done.
He's kind of important to me. He just wants to be your friend.
I don't really do good with friends.
Well, what about us?
At this point, the Chibicabra holds his finger up, crawls off the shoulder, climbs up on top of Flo's head, and just lays there.
Flo, very grumpily now, your historical acquaintances.
Oh, we'll work on that, I guess.
I can't really bring myself to make friends with people that are 15 years older than me and that I'll probably never see again.
But if you'll never see us again, wouldn't that mean you would want to make the best impression you could right now?
Honestly, if I had one of those, memory wiper pen things, I'd probably be better off doing that before I return to the future so you guys won't come looking for me.
Aw.
How would we come looking for you? If you went to the future.
The future yous would now know I exist and that I'm from the future time, so you would know to go looking for me.
We can't get to the future.
Well, we can just wait a while. It'll be
No, like you, 15 years in the future from now.
Oh,
So like, how old is Charles? So you'd be like 55 looking for a 17-year-old? Nothing creepy about that, right?
oh, there's a lot creepy about.
I mean, he already kind of did that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing. You know what? That guy was chasing around this 13-year-old girl as it was. So yeah, it's not good. So he looks back up at Mr. Robertson. He says, "So you knew me before I became psychotic, apparently. Why would I do something like set up a bomb kind of thing that's going to spread some horrible chemical thing around at an amusement park?"
That is a question we've been asking ourselves for 10 years plus.
Okay, so I'm not the only one who's confused by all that.
No.
Good. Well, it's not like they're going to find him anyway, so.
Not like they're going to find him.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a problem with Mr. Cassidy last time.
This is more than a bit of a problem.
What did you do?
Well, first, we ended up in that house of. And Charlie looks at Gianna. What was that called again?
What was it called? Not the burning house. The
Brimstone.
Brimstone.
brimstone. Thank you. House of Brimstone.
House of Brimstone, right. And they're really weird people there. And there I met myself and told myself off. And I think I attempted to punch myself at this point. I actually don't remember. And then, yes, and then he fell into some vat, or no, something got all over.
Actually,
A pipe broke above him and fell.
That's
and all
what it
that
was.
green stuff fell on top of him.
Right.
it was kind of my fault.
Yeah, and then he turned into this really strange monster-like thing, and we fought him, and it ended with us, well, me stomping his brains out. Or it's really, because it wasn't really him anymore.
It was really very scary.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think he was even human anymore.
Oh, that was definitely not human. Also, we tore a few holes in the walls and floor of the manor, which really felt good.
Have you ever considered talking to a therapist?
I've been meaning to. I was fine until I came here. I really feel like there's some kind of daddy issues here.
I don't really think starting off a therapy session with, "Hi, I'm from the past," would really work out too well either.
Well, neither would "Hi, I'm from the past, and I think I killed myself in this timeline."
Both very good points.
Things are kind of weird right now.
Yes. Not to mention that you keep talking about this guy who didn't exist as if he did.
Well, that's because he did. It was Alex.
Yeah, I think I know that, but every time I go to think about it, I keep thinking he's dead or doesn't exist.
Gianna, darling. I know you have all of your constructs that you talk to, but you usually give them all adorable, cute names. Alex is not one of those, so, honey, there is no such person that you ever known as Alex.
First off, Dad, they're not constructs. They're my friends. They're really friendly to me, and they all have names.
As I said, cute, adorable names. Alex does not qualify as one of those.
And Alex was my friend, is my friend. We went to the prom. He was there, or the dance, whatever it was.
I'm pretty sure you went with Hunter.
I did go with Hunter, but I went with also Drake and Alex, because Alex didn't have anybody to go with. And then we went up and we joined NextGen, and they made us honorary members. And they even recorded it. Stage Fright did that whole, game show thing.
And you have footage of this game show thing?
I don't, but maybe Stage Fright does.
And where exactly would one find this stage fright?
Hopefully somewhere in a deep cave.
I think he's in prison right now.
Why would anyone want to find stage fright again?
That is a great question, actually.
Well, because he might know where Alex is.
Even if he did, do you think he would just tell us?
Maybe not.
And I don't think my threats will work on him either.
Probably not. He'd probably just enjoy it.
I also kind of bad for Stage Fright.
Why?
What? He always seems so lonely.
Probably because everyone who's gotten close to him, he's killed.
Or to the fact that he's just psychotic. And all he talks with that stupid laugh.
I just want to punch whoever made that laugh.
The chibi copper just slides slowly behind Flo's head.
But no, I'm serious. We did that game show thing, and it was in front of Stage Fright, and he knows that Alex existed, especially as Red Dragon.
So, question. If Stage Fright is the only one besides you who knew that Alex existed...
He's not, though. Drake knew, too.
But Drake was there at the thing with Stage Fright?
Yeah, he was there, too.
How do we know that Alex is not a result of something that Stage Fright did?
Because Chase Cassidy knew, too.
Yeah. Chase Cassidy was obsessed with Alex.
No,
well, specifically, he was obsessed with Red Dragon.
And he knew Alex existed at the arcade. I remember him saying it.
He did. He was one of the few ones. So I'm not making it up.
My suggestion then would be, if you really want to prove he exists, go find this stage fright and get the footage.
I think Stage Fright's in prison right now.
Oh, probably not.
Oh.
I mean, if he is, then with the credentials you have from Dr. Casey, you should be able to see him.
Well, we do have credentials now.
You do. I'm not technically part of this NextGen team.
Oh.
Me neither.
You could really just get anywhere, though.
I don't want to do it that way, though.
That is besides the point.
I understand. I was just throwing that out. Whatever.
I could probably have you guys come as a +1.
But there's two of us.
That would be a +2.
Yeah, but maybe I could add another one. We can at least try.
How about you take him and go, because you guys have more idea what's going on than I do.
Really, I'm just playing along at this point.
Actually, if anyone's going to go, he looks at Gianna and Flo. You two should be the ones to go. Assuming you're okay with it and you want to know more about what happened to you, I would be willing to have a discussion.
What happened to me? How do you know what happens to me?
He's talking to me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Do you think that's the best idea? I just punched a news reporter.
But you didn't have me there to stop you. I wouldn't have been able to do that, would I?
Not in the slightest.
I don't think he
Can you
was.
try not to punch random people in the face?
Please punch. It wasn't random.
It wasn't random.
He knew exactly who he was punching.
I punched him because he manipulated you.
I appreciate that. I really do. Well, maybe, though, that kind of thing will help kind of keep Mr. Stagefright on track. He tends to wander a bit off script.
Hi, have you met me?
Maybe it'll work better than I think. Besides, I wanted to ask Stagefright some questions anyway, otherwise.
Again, I ask why did you ever want to talk to him?
He was doing some weird things the last time we met him.
You think?
And that makes me eager to go with you. Why?
It shouldn't.
Maybe we can learn some things.
Because I'm asking you to go as a chaperone?
That you're even asking your daughter to go in the first place.
Mr. Caston, you are privy to know what she can do. Do you really think I can keep her here if she wants to go?
Theoretically speaking, sounds like she would listen to you if you told her to stay here. No, probably not. Fine.
So what use is there for me to look at her and tell her she's grafted to her room when she is very capable of getting out? And is strong-willed enough to do it.
Just be careful, Jim.
And then he looks. And so help me. If I ground you and you sneak out of this house, I will find a way to bind your powers, and I will bind you to that bed, young lady.
Yes, Daddy.
Just don't let him make me angry, because I'm not making any promises he's going to live through it.
Okay, but try extra hard. Maybe just a little bit harder.
Oh, and please just punch him once for me. If you punch him a second time for me.
Didn't you two punch the crap out of him in the movie theater?
Yes. Yes. If he's still alive, which he clearly is, and you punch him once more for me, please. I will literally beg you to do that.
Out of nowhere, Flo just pulls a white glove out of his pants and puts it on his right fist. It will be proof.
You don't need to prove it. I will trust your word. Plus, Gianna will be there. She can tell me.
Right. I can corroborate it. So you'll go with me, Flo?
I will go with you only to be your escape hatch. Things start going south. We're going down from the sky somewhere. I don't know. I'm dropping us somewhere.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
And he looks and goes, And it would probably be in everyone's best interest to not kill somebody who is in police custody.
I did not use the word kill. I specifically said the word punch.
You did not. Your friend did.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep him from doing anything.
Okay, I will not kill anyone. I will just permanently incapacitate them.
That's much better. Like a real superhero.
Gianna, darling,
No more Batman?
no more Batman.
Okay.
Gianna, before you go, I do have one question for you.
Okay.
Why a moth?
Mr. Moth?
Yes.
It's just the way he looks.
Okay. I was just curious. It's just a little weird to be riding around a moth instead of, I don't know, like a bird or a dragon or something else with wings. But a moth, he's a nice guy. Just weird.
But Mr. Moth isn't a bird.
Yes, I don't. Never mind. Just go.
So that begs the question: are you taking the expressway, or are you taking the buggy path to get to the police station? Police station.
Well, Flo? Are you in a portally mood?
Oh, I ain't riding any moth.
Okay. We're taking the Flo Express.
You should give it a try sometime, Flo. It's actually not nearly as bad as you might think.
He's really gentle.
I'll pass.
Okay.
It's kind of neat, actually.
Aw.
Knowing that you're flying on a moth-type anthropomorphic creature that is literally the figment of her imagination.
He's not a figment.
It's not a cut, but...
See?
Well, he's different, though.
No.
Didn't he come from the dream? You never really explained that to me all that well.
So, the chupacabra at this point jumps down off of Flo, defiantly walks over to Charlie, climbs up onto Charlie's shoulder. You're not sure how, but he also has the same style white glove on his hand that Flo did, takes the white glove off, and smacks Charlie in the face with the chupacabra white glove.
Of course. I think he's challenging you to a duel.
I'll pass. If only because I'm pretty sure he could actually destroy me. Where did you
He does have
even...
knives for hands.
Where did you even get a glove that... You know what? Never mind.
You see Flo just really tightening the string on his pants out of concern.
We should probably go.
Yes.
Come on, Chibi. And very good. You've been listening to your training. Hey, no.
That was for Charlie.
So
He even looks adorable when he's insulting me. It's amazing.
this is the first time that Charlie and Gianna will actually be watching Flo when he creates the portal. But he sort of just holds his hands up and sort of like turns his wrist, and the portal just sort of spirals open.
Wow.
Is that magic or technology?
Yes.
Fair.
I mean, we've used technology to enhance it, but not everyone can do this.
That's cool. I was just curious.
Let's just say without technology, I couldn't guarantee where we would be going.
Gotcha. Let's just say even with technology, I still can't figure out how to use this stupid phone.
That's because it is technology.
Exactly.
10 numbers, green button.
Okay, that part I got. Outside of that, the texting thing and all these applications on the phone, I don't quite understand it.
Would you like to send the text you just created?
No.
Sending text.
Gianna,
Yes.
did you put Tinder on Charlie's phone?
No!
Your phone buzzes, Gianna,
She picks up her phone.
from Charlie.
Oh, you sent me a text! And she opens it.
Oh, great.
It's a picture of Chibi going,
Okay. I should have seen that coming.
How did... You know what? I don't even know if I want to know.
you look down and Chibi's just holding the phone, texting.
Okay, even he knows how to use my phone more than I do. You know what?
Of course! He's from this year!
I guess that's true.
Your phone buzzes again. It just says, I'm cute.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not.
So, Charlie just holds his hand down. Chibi, someday you're gonna have to give me a lesson on how to use this stupid thing. As he reaches for it.
Oh.
Thank you.
No, he's the 1 second.
Oh, sure.
Takes a selfie. Sets it as your phone background and hands you the phone back.
It's adorable. Thank you.
Flo looks down at him. You realize he has to unlock his phone to actually see that, right?
He looks defeated.
That would assume I have any idea how to put a lock on this in the first place. He's one of those prudes that doesn't have a lock on his phone.
After you, Gigi.
Okay. And so she walks through. Steps through the portal.
Flo's just staring at Gigi.
Pops on top of your head again.
No, we're not walking through like this.
I think you are.
He moves to your shoulder.
I'll concede.
And he points towards the portal.
Don't push it. And Flo walks through, snapping his finger as he passes through, and it closes behind him.
So we turn the page. And we're in...
Hold on. Before that last panel, Charlie looks over at Mr. Robertson. He just says, "Look, I know I'm only 16 years old, but oh my gosh, do you have anything strong enough to drink to get this?"
No.
Darn it. Okay, night.
So we turn the page, and we're in the prison. We get the counter of you guys being walked down to the cell. And you get there, and it's your regular 8 by 10, whatever size prison cell it is. In the orange jumpsuit, there's this no longer with the flamboyant getup that you're used to seeing. No the mask, just orange jumpsuit. This skinny-looking, blonde-haired kid.
It's actually a little sad. Mr. Stage fright?
What?
Um, I need your help with something.
How can I help you?
Mr. Stagefright, do you remember, one of my friends, the Red Dragon?
You mean the scale thing that punched me in the face the first time we met?
No. I mean, the, one who, was... Well, he doesn't have scales. But the one who was wearing, the helmet and had the jumpsuit and... Yeah. But no, the one who wasn't actually a dragon. He was more like, a Power Rangers type of dragon.
There was only two of you. It was you. And the dragon. Actual dragon. Which is cheating. You're not supposed to have an actual dragon.
I know. But, you remember that game show that you made us do, right? Where Drake had to answer the questions and
belly flopped into the pool?
Yes! Do you remember that?
Of course I did. It was a fantastic show.
It was! It was really good. Did you happen to record it?
Of course I did.
Did or didn't?
Of course I did.
That's great! Mr. Stagefright, I'd really like to see that again.
Why? So you can point and laugh like everyone else does?
No, it's so I can remember something. A really good memory.
Yeah, remember me getting punched in the face, and of course you should repeat that.
No. It's not that. It was a really important event. And a friend of mine's gone missing. And he was in that video. And I've gone.
So the dragon's missing? How do you misplace a dragon?
I mean,
That's
you see all
a
the
very
things
good
he falls
question.
into.
Yeah. He does fall a lot. But that's a very good question. But it's really hard to explain, but I just know that if I can see that footage, if I can see that recording, I'll see my friend again. And, Mr. Stagefright, I know you're not a bad person. I know that it was a really good show. And it's really important to me to see it again.
Roll to comfort and support.
Okay. Hey, Chippy's with me. He's a comfort Chippy Cabra. A support Cabra, I don't know.
Support.
He's an emotional support chibi.
Yes.
Like, all I'm going to say is we need to find a way to get affiliate because we need Chibi Cabra emotes.
And technically, it does say he can help with comfort and support somehow, but
Because he's freaking adorable!
he is freaking adorable, so he can help me out with that a little bit. So, because I'm going to need it, because Gianna, comfort and support, oof. So, given the bonus for that, and... Oh, I needed that fierce. That's
That's a 4.
awful.
Yes, that's awful. You can mark potential, though.
Yay. I mean, I know what I was going to take anyway, but it's kind of too late for it.
Yeah, so, look. If you think I'm going to show you my footage, just so you can sit there and relive your happy memory of punching me in the face. You're crazy. Why? Why would I do that? In fact, I don't even know why I'm talking to you. You're done. And I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
I need you to mark guilty.
What if I already got it?
Then it's fine.
Okay, I already got it.
But because after his little outburst and you hear the sniffling and the crying, Gianna especially feels guilty.
Without a doubt. Well, not. Um.
Why are you still standing here? Please, just leave.
Okay. Mr. Stage Fright, I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to leave without trying to find my friend. So, I'm really sorry about this. And she reaches out with her powers and her mind, like literally reaching out. She's going to try to use her ability to kind of like tap in, like mentally, to see if she can discern the location of where Stage Fright keeps his equipment.
Muted. Push to talk.
I'm assuming you're attempting to use elemental awareness?
Sort of. It was more like an unleash my powers type of deal, type of thing, where I was gonna I guess elemental awareness would make the most sense. But like I know early on, Gianna used her powers to. Actually, I guess it was more of an empathy thing, wasn't it? Yeah, that was an empathy.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, nuts. Never mind.
so Flo, you've been watching this entire thing going on. What do you do?
I mean, even though it's Flo, he cannot bring himself to actually do anything like punching him. Wait, did Gigi succeed in figuring out?
Nope.
Nah.
Uh, Hold on, let me get my character sheet up.
She actually looked up at Flo a little bit lost because she feels terrible right now.
I'm actually going to attempt to pierce the mask on
Nice.
Stage Fright.
Oh, okay. Roll to pierce the mask.
Can I spend a... Would it help you to be able to ask 3 questions?
We don't have any team.
There is one team. One team that's on every session.
Okay.
I forgot to add it at the beginning. Yes, there is one team in the pool.
Would it help you to be able to ask 3 questions, Flo?
I mean, I had one specifically that I needed to ask,
Okay.
so I'm not sure. And honestly, like in actual character, I'm not sure that Flo is even thinking outside this one question anyway.
That's all right.
Ask away.
Is this some sort of act?
Act? What do you mean, act?
I mean, you're acting like a baby. You didn't even cry when I punched you back at the theater. So don't even give me this crap that you're going to sit here and cry to make Gianna feel bad. I mean, if you really want a reason to cry, I can punch you again.
Look. It's one thing when they're out there, it's a performance. You have to stick to the part. There's no performance in here.
With you, I have a hard time believing that. I think everything's a performance.
To what audience?
To the audience that you're trying to manipulate. To the audience that you're trying to control the emotions of and captivate.
Look,
your audience right here is Gianna.
I don't know what either of you two want. There were 2 people in that video. There was her, and there was the dragon. That's it. There is no third person.
So you tell her that you remember someone, that you had recordings of all this footage of this night, and yet you don't have the person that you say was with her.
I never said I remembered anybody. Whatever she's talking about, there was never a third person.
Never a third. She mentioned 4.
She mentioned 3. Herself, her friend that's the actual dragon, and the one who apparently is named Red Dragon, who I've never heard of before.
Yeah, but she also mentioned a 4th to us. So if you really were there that night, not remembering 4 people is one thing. You don't remember even 3. So that means you only recollect half the people that she claims is there.
Jazz actually looking up at Angelo, like, actually a little bit confused. But she kind of glances back over at stage fright, see where he's going with this.
I believe where he's going with this is roll to provoke. Okay, so from a mechanical standpoint, go ahead and take influence over stage fright. Because he's choosing to overreact here. At this point, this is the first time he's stood up. He stands up, gets right up against the bars. Look, if I knew about 3 people, 4 people, 20 people, it doesn't matter. If there were more than 2 people there, I would tell you just so you would stop bothering me. Okay? Because I really don't want to be sitting here talking to the 2 jerks who put me here in the first place. So do me a favor and shut up and leave.
Flo looks over at Gianna. See how quick he stopped crying?
I think it's because you made him mad, but yeah. Stage fright, we just need to know where that video is.
You need to know nothing. And then a small smirk comes across his face. He turns around for a second. And when he turns back around, half his face is covered in a mask like that.
Where did you get that?
I've always had it. Well, let's just say, someone we both have relationship with gave it to me.
Flo whispers something to Chibi.
So, Gianna,
Yes,
this is the GM asking you a very important question.
go for it.
What is Gianna most afraid of?
That's a really good question.
In this moment, what is she most afraid of?
This moment she's most afraid of. In this moment she's most afraid, I think, of being alone.
So, you hear the laughter. And then suddenly everything around you goes black. And it's just you, floating. And the only thing you hear is the echoing laughter.
Angelo? Stage fright? Chippy?
If it's not already marked, please mark afraid.
See. Ooh, okay. One of the few.
Okay. So, we get that comic panel. And we turn the page to the other comic panel. And we see the prison normally. Gianna's just sort of standing there. And then next thing we know, Chibi starts pointing, monkey style, jumping up and down, and just chittering excitedly, pointing at what appears to be the uncovered side of Stage Fright's face. Which Gianna doesn't notice, but obviously Flo does.
You might want to listen to it.
And tell me, why would I want to listen to that?
And suddenly, Flo starts flinging his fists forward and opens up a portal. And clocks.
Roll to directly engage a threat. Pick one.
Well, considering that we're on opposite sides of the glass wall, I'm going to try to surprise Stage Fright to sort of break Gianna out of whatever she's in.
So he's clearly, because he never saw the portals from Flo in the movie theater. You just walked up and punched him. So he was clearly not expecting this. So you punch him. This is the second nose you've broken today, by the way. You punch him square in the nose. Gianna, you snap out of whatever thing you were in.
She immediately huddles to the ground.
Yeah, like, it still feels crazy. So he just... I'll remember that.
I told you to listen to Chibi.
Then he looks at Gianna. What you experienced was simply a small amount of what I can do. If you truly believe that your friend is missing, there's one of two things that have happened. And both of them start at the same source.
She shakily, like, she's getting to her feet, kind of, because she's kind of clawing her hands off of her knees. What source is that? Stop laughing! What source is that?
The same one that gave me my mask, and the same one that asked me to make sure that anyone who harmed you was taken care of. And we see a portal open behind him. It's the same style portal that you saw when you entered the dreaming the last time. And he doesn't step into it, it swallows him up.
Oh, that's not good. Flo? Does that... I think my mom might be involved with what's going on.
I don't care. This is going to be very, very insensitive, and I apologize ahead of time. I don't care about your mom.
Yeah.
He lied to you. And he's obviously hiding something. So that tells me, even though I didn't believe you about Alex, that there's something more going on to this whole Alex thing than maybe even you know.
That's clear. But that portal that just grabbed stage fright, that was like what I saw in the dreaming.
It's not my magic. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, I know what it was. That was the same portal that Alex and I went through when we went to that realm where we found Chibi. And now stage fright's gone there?
So you know what dimension that is?
I do.
I can't say it will work, but I need you to tell me as much as possible about that dimension.
And that's going to be the last panel on that page. We're going to turn the page back to the Robinson household.
So, Mr. Robertson, you wanted to talk?
I don't want to give you too much because I don't want to send you down the inevitable path that you're trying to avoid. But you obviously want to know what led you to become who you were.
Well, I know a little bit. I saw myself as a fledgling superhero attempt to help somebody only to injure them. I get the feeling that is one of the main things that led him down the path he started on.
One of them, yes. Take a walk with me, shall we?
Okay, where?
Down the road a bit, there's something you need to see.
Okay.
So as you're walking, he starts talking to you. He goes, well, I'm not saying that what Chase became is good or bad. That's for people to decide. It's the path he took to get there. And when you see everything that you try to do blow up in your face, it tends to leave people jaded.
I mean, yeah, I don't know a lot about being jaded, yeah.
So you walk down the street, and it's this little, probably like a little tiny, like you would say a small inner city park garden thing. It's just a single tree. Doesn't look out of place. I mean, it's kind of expected. It's very, because we like to use the term here, it's very nondescript.
Right.
So he brings you to a tree.
What's so special about this tree?
Well, nothing and everything. Because this tree was planted here 15 years ago. And it's not overly that big of a tree.
Mm-hmm.
As a reminder, as I said, there were 4 people who were part of that team I was talking about.
Right.
I only mentioned 3 in the house.
Fair.
This tree is planted in memory of the 4th one.
Of course it is. Who is it?
She went by the name Paladin.
Paladin?
Yes, her real name was Sylvia St. Cloud.
Sylvia St. Cloud. Okay.
It was losing her that caused him to spiral. Because even though they couldn't stop the gang war in the Bash, they tried. And they were able to stop a good portion of the destruction that was planned. But something went wrong.
As it apparently always does.
As I said, when dealing with sonic abilities, you never quite know what's going to happen.
Yes, Yes.
But between the gang war going on, another entity was trying to use it to its advantage. And they sent into the middle of the gang war some, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, demonic hordes.
Oh! I feel like I should be more surprised than I am.
Considering you said you were at the House of Brimstone, not really.
Yeah. That's fair.
And Chase and Sylvia and Minerva and Thomas did everything they could to quell the demon hordes before everything went to holy hell. And they did, but the cost was great. The portal was sealed. The They lost Sylvia in the process.
But they sealed her in the portal as well?
No, the powers that she had allowed her great divine magic. And she spent every last energy she had to seal the portal.
Oh, okay. I see.
And it was Chase's plan. So they won, but at the cost of Sylvia. And that's where we're going to end the comic. I need you to mechanically mark the left side of they won a victory at enormous cost.
I kind of already did. I mean, that was like so much of an obvious one of like, I'm just gonna click this now and wait for him to tell me.
Yup. So, with that, thank you all very much for watching. For a live programming note, there will not be any BCC next Sunday because, well, the guy who'd be running next Sunday is going to be driving, so there will be no BCC next Sunday. Please stay tuned to the Twitter and see if we're going to be doing anything during the rest of the week. But thank you all for watching, and on behalf of Chameleon Ice, Crimson Alex, and OPT Lawyer, I am TGE, reminding everybody to, of course, as always, keep hailing.